50 years ago, Bishop Charles Francis Buddy and Mother Rosalie Clifton Hill broke ground on their dream of adjacent men's and women's Catholic colleges above San Diego's Mission Bay. Their collective vision was an extraordinary one: to create a place of scholarship and spiritual exploration, of beauty and peace, built on a foundation of service to humanity. But, like Rome, that place wasn't built in a day. Although a 1959 San Diego Magazine article offered an early review that was hardly glowing, the colleges for men and women gradually became the place today's students would recognize, where its founders would feel at home.
I think that they would be impressed and maybe surprised that the campus has been so faithful to its architectural design. I think they would be tickled with the Institute for Peace and Justice. I think that would seem to them really a fulfillment of the potential of what a Catholic university can do and how we can have an influence in our community.
In 1971, author E. Hughes became the first lay president. Within a year, the colleges would merge into a single co-educational institution. Times were uncertain. A contingency plan provided for distribution of the university's assets should it fail.
Anyone who walks around this campus today, whether they know it or not, will be confronting the imprint, the signature, the evidence of Art Hughes' leadership. For the important time in the history of this university, when it really needed strong leadership, it needed a good fiscal manager, it needed someone with vision, Art Hughes was the person, the right person for that time.
Bishop Buddy and Mother Hill built USD's foundation. Author Hughes built its identity.
We began the expression value orientation. And I'll have to admit, initially I wasn't really quite sure what that meant or how you would have it woven within the fabric of the institution. How do you work that within the curriculum? You know, how can you talk about values if you're teaching a chemistry course? The way we treat one another and the way we treat the output of research of chemistry is extraordinarily important in terms of the values reference. If the university continues as I think it does, it's concern for each person. It's what I hoped to leave as a legacy.
Tonight, the University of San Diego begins a new tradition. For the first time, the 5 alumni honored with the Hughes Career Achievement Award are being recognized along with recipients of the Bishop Buddy Award for Service to Humanitarian Causes and the Mother Rosalie Hill Award for Service to the University. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first USD Alumni Honors.
Once a week, or as often as sometimes impassable roads allow, Ann Taylor makes a trip to Casa de Hogas Las Memorias. The Tijuana AIDS Hospice is a 45-minute drive from downtown San Diego, but it is light years away. Sometimes she brings medicine, other times food or heating oil or clothing. Always, though, she brings hope. Today's cargo includes packages of luxury.
Here we have, we're very fortunate that the church group has supported us today. And what we have is packets that were put together by a church in San Diego, a group. And we're going to give each packet to a person. They have face cloth, towel, socks, personal care, candies.
When Ann arrives, people just come up and they give it the biggest hug, and there just smiles from ear to ear, and it's just like one of the people there called her mama. This is my mama is coming, and you know she just brings such joy with her, and she's always laughing, and even though she doesn't communicate, you know, in Spanish as well as they do, she communicates from her heart and with her joy, with her hands, with her very being, and they just love to be there and get their hugs from her when she comes.
The longtime hospice care nurse also has a healing touch that brings more to bear against pain and suffering than Western medicine alone. An energy-based medicine to help patients heal themselves. a skill especially useful in chronic care situations.
That's what I've chosen to do for my research, to see what healing touch can really help.
Hospice care is demanding. Taylor has found a powerful way to recharge her battery. On any given Sunday, look for her boogie boarding at La Jolla Shores.
The water for me, the salt water, has always been a joy all my life. I swam as a child, I was on a swim team and spent a lot of time in the water. And then when I moved to San Diego, it was wonderful because you could swim all year round. So I got into boogie boarding and used to go by myself to Del Mar and to La Jolla Shores. And little by little, I met people, a lot of them who had never boogie boarded before, and they were at my church. I got them interested, and more people started coming. So then we had a little group on Sunday mornings. We would go to church in the morning, and then whoever was around, we would meet at La Jolla Shores.
The recipient of the 2004-2005 Bishop Charles Francis Buddy Award for service to human causes, Ann Taylor. When she was a student, Del Willett led cheers from the Torero sidelines. Since she's become an alumna, she's been doing it from center stage. A 20-year veteran of the Alumni Board, Del served USD Volunteer Action Network and as a USD ambassador representing the university at college fairs in the Midwest.
One of the reasons I was on the board and did a lot of volunteer work on the board is because I wasn't in the position to make any large financial contributions, but I knew that I could give of my abilities and my time.
Del's college days were busy ones. She was active in many student organizations, which helps explain why she's been such an active alumna.
It's a place where you can be somebody. The campus is big enough to have a lot to offer and small enough so that you can have an identity.
Willette's dedication to USD extends to her professional life. The Director of Marketing for the San Diego Natural History Museum often provides career counseling to students. After her family, and maybe after USD, Del's greatest passion is photography.
When I take pictures, one of the things I'm trying to do is save something for myself that I've seen that's inspiring to me. Pictures that are inspiring to me are not just the subject, but really simple things like interesting shapes and the relationship of shapes to each other. And I like to look for places that most people won't necessarily see. I was a cheerleader at USD in my sophomore year, and I'll always be a cheerleader for USD.
2004-2005 recipient of the Mother Rosalie Clifton Hill Award for service to the university, Del Willett Staton.
David Herrera is going on a pilgrimage again. This time he's preparing for the 150-mile walk from Leon, Spain to Compostela, following the centuries-old path Christians have taken to the tomb of St. James. But life has been a pilgrimage for Herrera. His path has taken him up the corporate ladder and down the trail of self-discovery. Herrera followed his father's footsteps into the engineering profession. A job at Goodyear led to an executive position at Sunoco. He rose to Vice President of Operations for Asia, Europe, and Latin America. At age 50, when some people are just entering their professional prime, David Herrera retired from the corporate world. He had more time for Sherry and their children, Christina and Daniel. The lifelong learner enrolled in the University of San Diego, earning his doctorate in leadership studies. He found USD uniquely suited for pursuit of his passion. Herrera has immersed himself in preaching the gospel of Mondragon, an innovative business model rooted in Catholic social teachings that puts people rather than profits at the core of the business plan and generates billions of dollars in the process.
It has given purpose to my life. It has given meaning to my life. That is the reason why also I left my work, because I was finding to be meaningless towards the end. You know, it was not about the money and the status, the prestige, but it was about losing meaning. You know, so now I feel like there is purpose. There's a reason why I'm here, so I can actually pass on this story to others. Yeah.
His journey of self-discovery continues. Herrera is considering next taking up formal study of literature and art. For David Herrera, the adventure in life is taking the next step.
I, Napoleon L. Jones, Jr.,
Napoleon L. Jones, Jr.
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution
the Constitution.
Napoleon Jones took an oath to practice justice for all. It was a promise he made to himself many years before. Jones was a 23-year-old soldier stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia, when he watched on television Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. Jones had previously heard King speak in San Diego, but on that August day in 1963, King gave voice to Jones's own dream.
The meaning of the speech, in terms of evolving over the years, it's frustrated me, it's strengthened me, it's given me focus, it's given me energy. I think that sometimes I look at it and I say, you know, we're moving backwards as opposed to forward, but at all times I'm energized with the notion of making that dream, that speech, a reality.
Realizing dreams can be difficult work.
One of the beautiful things about our system of justice is that we have jurists that come from all walks of life, from all sorts of backgrounds and experiences. The law does not require me as a jurist to put aside my life's experiences, but what the law does require is that I not allow those life experiences to pervert the law. If I allowed that to happen, then we would have a system not of justice, but of anarchy.
Jones' conviction that all people have an inalienable right to respect was first instilled in him by his parents, Napoleon Sr. and Lily. They had an ally in the Oaks Boys and Girls Club in San Diego's Logan Heights neighborhood.
I first came to the Oaks Boys and Girls Club in 1947, and that'll tell you my age because you had to be 7 in order to join, but I looked forward to it, and so I ran up with the quarter that my parents had given me. That was how much the dues were at that time. One of my jobs was to do the lines at the Little League field. And so I would lay the lines for the Little League. Baseball was not one of my strong suits, but I certainly took real good care of, dragging the field and making sure those lines were right.
Jones has never forgotten Oaks. An active member of its Alumni Association, when the facility needed improvements, the federal court judge rolled up his sleeves. It has been 42 years since King's words inspired him. Yet for Jones, the dream is fresh. From the steps of the Lincoln Memorial to the steps of the Oaks Boys and Girls Club to the federal district court bench, Napoleon Jones' dream is alive.
Julie Novak earned the first doctorate ever awarded from the Hahn School of Nursing, but she's made a career of firsts.
My interest in tobacco control and tobacco use prevention cessation for children and families, particularly childbearing women, has gone on for many, many years after losing family members to lung cancer, having a very personal interest in the issue, and then seeing so many children in clinical practice with ear infections and bronchitis and asthma, and most of those patients had parents who were smoking in the home.
Novak was the driving force behind the first tobacco prevention and cessation program implemented in the Virginia schools. A powerful weapon in winning that uphill fight was Novak's ability to rally the community.
When I moved was recruited actually to the University of Virginia to develop programs there, and wanted to continue my research. I was then, of course, in a state where tobacco is the #1 cash crop. And so the approach had to be slightly different, and I needed to establish some rapport with the community, certainly get to know the various leaders and put together teams.
Novak, currently head of the School of Nursing and Associate Dean in the College of Pharmacy, Nursing, and Health Science at Purdue University, has taken the anti-smoking fight to the streets. At Purdue, she's also taken it to the dorms and classrooms. Her goal? A smoke-free campus by 2006.
I arrived here not expecting to find the smoking rates that I found at Purdue University, but they were 36%, which was significantly higher than the national average for college students. So I put together a group of individuals from the residence halls, from the faculty, from the student groups, and in the community, and we've had some significant success as well, and have gone from 36% smoking rates down to 23% smoking rates. We have a long way to go, but we're heading in the right direction.
In the state of Indiana, we're still trying to catch up to the enlightenment that we see in California. So smoking is rather prevalent, and one of the key initiatives that Julie has helped implement are anti-smoking campaigns and smoking cessation campaigns. Julie has truly been instrumental in bringing these improvements about.
The recipient of USD's first doctorate in nursing, Novak established the first master's program, and soon, the first doctoral program at Purdue. The 2005 Hughes Career Achievement Award recipient from the Hahn School of Nursing and Health Sciences, Julie Novak.
Larry Shea left the San Diego College for Men in 1962, headed, quite by accident, for a job in the insurance industry. 43 years later, including more than 2 decades at the head of Barney & Barney, Shea is embarking on a new career, heading an insurance brokerage firm and holding a shot out of the bunker may seem very different kinds of work. But for Shea, success in business and success on the golf course result from the same mental approach.
Golf is a game of high integrity and honesty. Everybody has to keep their own score and report it correctly and take penalty shots as they come. So somebody who plays golf and plays it right is a person that has a great deal of honesty.
Larry is the consummate professional. He is a guy who, when the chips are down and maybe things are not going as well as you would like them to be, or maybe there's a problematic issue, he's a guy that you want leading the way, making the decisions, because for him, ethics always rise to the top. An uncanny ability to see clearly through an issue and make the best decision for everybody involved.
His second career allows Shea more time to devote to other passions. The list of community groups that have benefited from his time and talents is long.
I think what I learned about Larry is that it's, what you do outside the organization is as important as what you do inside the organization. Part of being a good corporate entity is being a good corporate citizen and being out in the community and giving back, and Larry was always a champion of that kind of effort.
Retirement also means more time for his family. Larry and Sandra Shea have 4 sons and 6 grandchildren. It also gives him more time for golf, something his friends may view as a mixed blessing.
Larry is one of these guys on the golf course who, now I'm an 11 index. Larry, I think, plays to about an 18, and I can't remember ever beating him. He's a guy whose game is sneaky. He's steady down the middle every time, and at the end of the round, you're getting out your wallet.
The 2005 recipient of the Arthur E. Hughes Career Achievement Award from the College of Arts and Sciences, Larry Shea.
Ethel Yamamoto calls London home, but the international banking executive is literally a citizen of the world.
私東京で生まれた、アメリカ行った。Je suis allée en France. J'ai passé 5 ans à Paris.
Ethel was a young girl when her family immigrated from Japan to the United States. Business opportunities opened up Europe to her. Ethel's work as co-head of the multinational firm BNP Paribas means she keeps her bags packed.
My primary job, it's a global responsibility, and I chair credit committees, you know, this infamous black box credit committee, everyone that needs a loan. What I love about it is I wake up every day, I learn something new. I think, how is it that I'm so fortunate to almost go to school? I have an economics lesson.
Running international credit committees requires sometimes delicate work across cultures. Ethel's talent for communication has been an important element in her success.
One of the reasons why I appreciate so much Ethel is the way she interacts and communicates with the other members of the team, because she always acts positively and trying to make things move in the right direction.
It's amazing to see this little Japanese lady speaking French. She can go from French to Japanese to English. Another thing about Ethel is that she can relate to anyone.
Ethel's travels may bring her to a bookstore near you. She took a 2-year sabbatical to write a book. The writing process gave her some insight into herself.
I think I learned a lot of things. Not so many new things, but I think the degree of challenges or problems were much more pronounced in writing this book. When I think about how USD enabled me to fulfill a dream, and that dream was to become an international banker, it obviously was well worth every effort.
The 2005 Hughes Career Achievement Award recipient from the School of Business, Ethel Yamamoto.